No one ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and they're not the same person. This observation by Heraclitus, a pre-Socratic Greek philosopher, captures the essence of human existence and the universe in constant flux. The depth of this statement transcends time, echoing through millennia to offer us a fundamental perspective on the nature of reality. Heraclitus's river is more than a metaphor. It's a vivid portrait of existence itself. The flowing waters symbolize the perpetual motion of the universe, the impermanence of all things. Each moment is unique, unrepeatable, a singular confluence of circumstances that will never recur in exactly the same way. This truth applies not only to the external world, but also to our internal reality. Human beings, like the river, are in constant transformation. Our cells renew, our thoughts evolve, our experiences accumulate. At every instant, we are a slightly different version of who we were the moment before. This continuous change is the essence of life, the pulse of the cosmos resonating in every atom of our existence. Heraclitus's philosophy invites us to a profound reassessment of our relationship with reality. The stability many seek is, in fact, an illusion. The only constant is change itself. This understanding can initially be disconcerting, as it challenges our preconceived notions of security and control. However, embracing this truth can be profoundly liberating. Accepting the fluid nature of reality doesn't mean succumbing to chaos or nihilism. On the contrary, it's a call to a more conscious and dynamic way of existing. By recognizing the impermanence of all things, we can develop a deeper appreciation for the present moment, for the uniqueness of each experience. This perspective frees us from the shackles of excessive attachment. When we understand that everything is in constant flux, the desire to desperately cling to people, things, or situations loses its power. In its place arises a greater capacity to flow with life's circumstances, to adapt to inevitable changes with grace and resilience. Heraclitus's philosophy is not an invitation to passivity, but rather to a more active and conscious form of engagement with life. It's a call to be fully present in each moment, aware of its preciousness and uniqueness. Each instant becomes an opportunity for growth, for transformation, for the evolution of our being. This understanding of the fluid nature of reality has profound implications for our search for meaning and purpose. If everything is in constant change, including ourselves, then our journey of self-discovery and personal growth is a continuous process without a defined endpoint. Each day becomes a new opportunity to redefine ourselves, to explore new facets of our existence. The river metaphor also reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things. Just as each drop of water influences and is influenced by all others in the river's flow, our actions and choices reverberate through the fabric of reality, influencing and being influenced by the whole. This awareness invites us to greater responsibility in our actions, to a deeper consideration of our role in the great flow of existence. Moving forward in our philosophical exploration, we encounter a revolutionary idea proposed by Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher. It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. This seemingly simple statement carries immense transformative power, redefining our understanding of the nature of human experience and the role of our mind in creating our reality. Epictetus presents us with a crucial distinction between external events and our interpretation of these events. The outer world, with all its complexity and unpredictability, is beyond our direct control. Life's circumstances, the actions of others, natural occurrences, all these elements operate independently of our will. However, our perception of these events, the way we interpret them and attribute meaning to them, is entirely under our domain. This understanding reveals a field of inner freedom that many are unaware of. We are not mere passive receptacles of external experiences, but active co-creators of our psychological reality. The true battlefield is not in the external world, but in the arena of our mind. It is in this inner space that we determine the emotional and psychological impact of events in our lives. Epictetus's philosophy invites us to a radical shift in perspective. Instead of seeking to control the uncontrollable, the external world, we are called to direct our attention and efforts to what is truly under our control, our perceptions, judgments, and reactions. This shift in focus is deeply liberating, as it allows us to find a sense of autonomy and balance, even amidst challenging circumstances. This approach doesn't deny the reality of external events, or suggest that we should be indifferent to them. On the contrary, it offers us a powerful tool to navigate life's complexity with greater clarity and emotional balance. By recognizing the role of our interpretations in creating our experience, we gain the ability to question and, when necessary, modify these interpretations. Practicing this philosophy requires constant mental vigilance. It's an exercise in self-awareness, a continuous effort to observe our automatic reactions and question the judgments we make. This process of self-observation and critical reflection is the path to greater inner freedom and emotional resilience. Epictetus teaches us that true strength lies not in the ability to control the external world, but in the skill of maintaining inner serenity regardless of external circumstances. This is a form of power that no one can take from us, an inner fortress that remains unshakable in the face of life's storms. This philosophy aligns perfectly with the quest for a more conscious and authentic life. By taking responsibility for our interpretations and reactions, we become active architects of our life experience. Each challenge transforms into an opportunity for growth, each obstacle into an invitation to refine our understanding and strengthen our resilience. Epictetus' wisdom reminds us that true freedom doesn't lie in the absence of challenges or in the ability to control the world around us. Freedom resides in our capacity to choose our response to circumstances, to shape our inner experience, regardless of what occurs externally. This perspective offers us a new lens through which we can view the world and our relationship with it. We are not passive victims of circumstances, but active participants in the creation of our psychological reality. This understanding empowers us, inviting us to a more mature and conscious way of existing in the world. The pursuit of wisdom invariably leads us to contemplate time. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher, offers an incisive perspective on our relationship with time. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. This penetrating statement reveals a fundamental truth about the human condition and our tendency to live in an imaginary future, neglecting the only moment we truly possess, the present. The human obsession with the future is a double-edged sword. On one hand, our ability to plan and anticipate has allowed us to achieve extraordinary feats as a species. On the other, this same ability often robs us of the full experience of the present moment. We live in a state of perpetual expectancy, always waiting for the next moment, the next achievement, the next life milestone. In this process, the present slips through our fingers, unlived, unappreciated. Seneca invites us to a radical reassessment of our relationship with time. He suggests that true life, full and meaningful life, can only be lived in the present. The future, no matter how bright or threatening it may seem in our imagination, is always an abstraction. The past, no matter how much it influences us, is gone. Only the present is real, tangible, experienceable. This emphasis on the present is not a call to recklessness or neglect of the future. On the contrary, it's an invitation to a more conscious and balanced way of living. Planning for the future has its place, but not at the cost of sacrificing the only reality we have, the now. Wisdom lies in finding the balance between prudent foresight and full immersion in the present moment. Seneca's philosophy echoes through the centuries, finding resonance in diverse spiritual and philosophical traditions. Buddhism, for example, emphasizes the practice of mindfulness as a path to liberation from suffering. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Zen master, expresses a similar idea. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment, to appreciate the peace and beauty that are available now. This convergence of thought between such diverse traditions points to a universal truth about the nature of human experience. Life, in its purest essence, can only be lived in the present. It is only in the now that we can feel, think, act, experience. The future is always a projection, the past a memory, but the present is the only living, pulsating reality. Living in the present doesn't mean abandoning all reflection on the past or planning for the future. It means, rather, approaching these activities with a consciousness rooted in the now. When we reflect on the past or plan for the future, we do so in the present moment. The key lies in maintaining this awareness, in not getting lost in daydreams or anxieties about what was or what will be. The practice of living in the present is a powerful antidote to many modern afflictions. Anxiety, which often arises from excessive worry about the future, loses its power when we anchor ourselves firmly in the now. Depression, frequently fueled by ruminations about the past, finds less space when our attention is fully engaged in the present moment. Moreover, living in the present allows us a deeper appreciation of life in all its richness and complexity. Colors seem more vivid, flavors more intense, experiences more meaningful when we are fully present to experience them. There's a quality of vividness and immediacy in the experience of now that no memory or anticipation can match. Seneca's wisdom reminds us that life is not something to be postponed, not a preparation for some future moment. Life is now, in this very instant. Each moment is an opportunity to live fully, to experience reality in its purest and most immediate form. The journey through philosophical thought leads us to a deeper understanding of the nature of existence and our relationship with it. Alan Watts, a philosopher and interpreter of Eastern philosophy for the West, offers an illuminating perspective. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet, everybody rushes around in a great panic, as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. This statement by Watts invites us to a profound reflection on the purpose of existence and our incessant search for meaning. In a goal-oriented society, where value is often measured by achievements and external milestones, the idea that the meaning of life lies simply in being alive may seem radical, even heretical. However, this perspective offers us a profound liberation. It frees us from the constant pressure of having to arrive somewhere, to achieve some idealized state of being or accomplishment. Instead, it invites us to a deeper appreciation of the miracle of existence itself. Watts' philosophy echoes the ancient wisdom of Taoism, eloquently expressed by Lao Tzu. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. This observation reminds us of the intrinsic harmony of the universe, a natural flow that doesn't require our frantic intervention or our anxious search for purpose. Accepting this perspective doesn't mean falling into passivity or inaction. On the contrary, it's an invitation to a more authentic and aligned way of living. When we free ourselves from the constant need to arrive somewhere, we can engage more fully with the process of life itself. Our actions become more fluid, more natural, emanating from a source of inner authenticity rather than being driven by external expectations or anxieties about the future. This philosophy of acceptance and flow finds resonance in various wisdom traditions. Buddhism, for example, teaches the practice of non-attachment, a way of being in the world without desperately clinging to specific outcomes. Shunryu Suzuki, a Zen master, succinctly expresses this idea. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few. The beginner's mind that Suzuki refers to is a state of openness and receptivity. It's a willingness to experience each moment as new, free from the limitations of preconceived expectations or rigid judgments. This attitude allows us to flow more easily with life's changes, adapting gracefully to ever-evolving circumstances. Embracing this philosophy of acceptance and flow doesn't mean abandoning aspirations or goals. It means rather changing our relationship with these goals. Instead of seeing life as a series of milestones to be achieved, we can view it as an ongoing process of unfolding and discovery. Goals become reference points in our journey, not final destinations that will determine our happiness or worth. This shift in perspective has profound implications for our life experience. Freed from the constant pressure to arrive somewhere, we can find more joy and satisfaction in the process of life itself. Each moment becomes an opportunity for learning, growth, and experience, regardless of its final outcome. Moreover, this philosophy offers us greater resilience in the face of life's inevitable changes and challenges. When we're not rigidly attached to specific outcomes, we can navigate the turbulence of existence with more grace and flexibility. Difficulties become opportunities for growth. Obstacles transform into teachers. The wisdom of Watts and the traditions he echoes reminds us that life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. True meaning is not in some distant point in the future, but in the fullness of each moment, lived consciously. The exploration of philosophy and wisdom inevitably leads us on an inner journey. In this context, the words of the mystic poet Rumi resonate with a profound truth. What you seek is seeking you. This enigmatic statement invites us to a deep reflection on the nature of our search for meaning, fulfillment, and truth. Rumi's perspective inverts our conventional understanding of spiritual and philosophical pursuit. Traditionally, we think of ourselves as active seekers, pursuing truths, experiences, or states of being that we believe will complete us. However, Rumi suggests a different dynamic, a cosmic harmony where the seeker and the sought are in some way one and the same. This idea finds echoes in various spiritual and philosophical traditions. In Buddhism, for example, there's the concept of Buddha nature, the notion that enlightenment is not something to be achieved externally, but a reality already present in each being, waiting to be recognized. Similarly, many mystical traditions speak of a return or remembrance of our true nature, rather than an acquisition of something new. Rumi's philosophy invites us to a radical shift in perspective on our journey of self-discovery. Instead of ceaselessly seeking in the external world for answers and fulfillment, we are called to turn our attention inward. It's an invitation to explore the depths of our own consciousness, to recognize the wisdom and fullness that already exist within us. This approach doesn't deny the value of external learning or experience in the world. Rather, it suggests that our interaction with the outer world is a mirror, a reflection of our inner reality. The experiences, challenges, and relationships we encounter in our life are opportunities to awaken and recognize aspects of ourselves that were previously hidden or unrecognized. The inner journey that Rumi invites us to is not an escape from reality, but a deeper dive into it. It's a process of unveiling layers of conditioning, limiting beliefs and false identifications to reveal our true nature. In this sense, the search is not for something new or external, but for a recognition of what has always been present. This perspective has profound implications for our approach to life and personal growth. Instead of seeing ourselves as incomplete beings in search of completion, we are invited to recognize our fundamental wholeness. Growth in this context is not an addition, but a revelation, a process of removing the obstacles that prevent us from recognizing and expressing our true nature. Rumi's philosophy aligns with the idea expressed by many sages throughout history, the notion that true wisdom is not something we acquire, but something we discover within ourselves. As the Greek philosopher Socrates stated, "Know thyself." This maxim is not an invitation to accumulate external knowledge, but to explore the depths of our own consciousness. The inner journey that Rumi invites us to is, in many ways, more challenging than any external quest. It requires courage to face our shadows, honesty to recognize our illusions, and persistence to continue exploring even when the path seems obscure. However, it is also infinitely rewarding, as it leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship with the universe. This approach to self-discovery offers us a more authentic and integrated way of living. As we recognize and express our true nature, our actions become more aligned, our relationships more genuine, and our life experience richer and more meaningful. Rumi's wisdom reminds us that the true journey is not to some distant place, but to the center of our own being. It's an invitation to trust our innate wisdom, to listen to the quiet voice of our intuition, and to recognize the beauty and fullness that already exist within us. Throughout this philosophical exploration, we've delved into the depths of human thought, navigating the currents of constant change, perception and control, living in the present, acceptance and flow, and the inner journey. Each perspective offered by the various thinkers and traditions invites us to a deeper and more multifaceted understanding of existence. The collective wisdom of these philosophers and mystics reminds us that life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced in all its richness and complexity. We are invited to embrace change, cultivate awareness, live fully in the present, flow with life's circumstances, and explore the depths of our inner being. This philosophical journey offers no definitive answers, but equips us with valuable perspectives to navigate the complexity of existence. Each individual is called to reflect on these ideas, to question them, and to discover how they resonate with their own life experience. True wisdom, after all, is not something that can be simply transmitted, but something that must be personally lived and realized.